What are we going to talk about today? A new concept, new in terms of, first of all, what are you studying here?
Medicine, biology.
Medicine, biology, anything else? Are you all medical students? What?
Sports science.
Okay.
Sports science, maybe.
Sports science, some of you? Okay. So what do they have common, all of these things that you just mentioned, and nutrition, exercise, physiology, medicine, psychology, etc.? What do they have in common?
The body?
The person is the common thing, okay? We all work about a person. So a person is a whole being. That's what we are missing now in modern medicine. Everybody in medicine, for you that you go into medicine, you will be super specialized in something. Some of you, 15 years from now, you will only know things about this part of the body. You will know nothing about this part, or any other part. And this is terrible and very nice also. Because if I have a problem here, I would like to come to you. But if I don't know where my problem is, then I have a problem. Where am I going? If I feel bad, where do you go? To the doctor that treats bad feelings? So that's the problem with modern medicine and modern science, is that it's super specialized. And by being super specialized, we're very good at treating a specific thing that we know what it is, but we're not good at treating things that maybe are from multiple etiology. You know, something that exercise affects it, physical activity, nutrition might affect it, the sleep might affect it, our marriage life might affect it, our social life might affect it. And you don't know because you're too young, but you will know soon that if you don't have a good relationship with your wife or your husband or your boyfriend, then next day your health is not good. Because you're stressed, you're not going to sleep well, you're not going to eat well, you might smoke a little more, you might drink a little more. So marriage life affects your health. Health affects your marriage life. Because if you don't sleep well, if you don't eat well, you cannot have sex that night with your wife, and she will be complaining. So that will destroy your marriage life. So marriage life destroys your health destroys your marriage life. So what is the outcome of this? You keep the two separate. Never get married. Thank you very much for your attention, and have any questions? So, because this area is very, very complicated, I asked the help of this gentleman here, Mr. Nicolakis, to help me explain what is the Mediterranean lifestyle and why it has been considered one of the healthiest lifestyles in the planet. So let's hear what he has to say.
Περνώ το κατόφλι του Ελληνίου. Θα τα φιλιάσεις. Τι να το κάνω. Τι να σου κάνω τα εκατόσα. Και 200 να ζήσεις με παιδί μου. Τι λέει, θα φύγεις. Η ζωή είναι με προθεσμία. Με προθεσμία. Και ό,τι θα κάνει ο άνθρωπος, η λύση είναι μία. Γελάς. Τα λες ωραία, αυτό γελάω. Τα λες ωραία. Ποτέ να μην παρακαλείς για να αποδιγεράσεις. Γιατί όποιος τον έχεις δίπλα σου, άσχημα θα περάσει. Καθαρίσματα, πεσήματα, δράμα. Εσύ δώσα το Θεό, καλά είσαι. Άκου, εγώ δόξα το Θεό, γιατί είμαι ευτυχισμένος. Δεν μου λέει τίποτα. Δουλεύω εγώ στη δουλειά μου, όσο χρόνο κι αν είμαι, δεν έχω κανένα να μου πει τίποτα. Μη άρχισες, μη νωρίς, μη αργά, μη τίποτα. Κάνω ό,τι μπορώ, έχω απ' όλα δεν σέρνουμε τίποτα, έχω παιδιά και εγγόνια δεν εισέβονα. Άμα θα πει το θέμα της ζωής, δεν μπορεί να το βοηθήσεις. Να σε πάντα καλά. Ο Θεός βοήθεια.
So now, thank you for your attention. Now is the end of my talk because Mr. Nicolakis actually said everything. We have more time? Okay. Then let's talk a little more about what he said. And so Mediterranean lifestyle. We'll go back to Mr. Nicolakis and we will listen to him again at the end. So the term Mediterranean lifestyle or Mediterranean diet that I'm sure everybody has heard here and maybe you're practicing it or you definitely have listened people talking about that. It has to do with the Mediterranean region. And this is a region that is very unique. Why is it unique? Because it's the crossroad of 3 continents. This is the only part of the world where this is happening. The geological diversity is huge. And the climate is very unique. Why? Because it's in the middle of Africa with all the warm winds coming up and the north of Europe with all the cold winds coming down. And they meet here. And this is why the climate here is not hot, is not cold, is right there. And now you're telling me, yeah, but it's hot outside. Well, we haven't been down here to see what hot is, or it's cold, but you haven't been up there. So here, the climate is probably the best in whole of the world. And this is why probably the diet of these people in this area of the world has been studied as a means to improve your health or as a way to explain why these people in the Mediterranean region have been shown since the 60s when those studies started to be some of the best in the world. So in 1960s they did a study in 7 countries and they found that in Crete and a couple of other areas in Greece, people had almost 0 cardiovascular disease when in the US or Japan north of Europe, the heart disease was skyrocketing. They thought at that time that diet is the reason why this is happening. The diet can explain all of this. So this is how this Mediterranean diet pyramid has developed. Okay, what is this? It's an effort to tell people who, all over the world what these people in the Mediterranean region used to do, because now they're not doing it, they used to do, and that's why they thought people are healthy in the Mediterranean region. They live long lives, and the most important thing is that they live good lives up until the end. Because the important thing is not to live long lives, is to live good life. If the last 20 years of your life you're in a bed, you're not able to go to urinate, that's not good life, okay? It doesn't matter if you live to be 100. So this is the Mediterranean diet pyramid. In fact, this is just something that the scientists made up because the Mediterranean diet is not one thing. Every little region around the Mediterranean region has their own different dietary patterns. But there are some common things, like the olive oil, like the fresh fruit and vegetable, etc., and a few other things, as you can see here. And this is the pattern that they use to eat it. So the pyramid means that if it's in the base of the pyramid, you should be eating it more often. Up here, a little less, less, less. And apparently, this describes the way these people were eating for many, many years or millennia. For millennia. So, over the years, this thing, the effect of the diet on health, has been studied much more. And right now we have thousands of studies that if you put them together, you will find out that indeed, if you are following the Mediterranean diet and maybe other things, then you are doing well in this kind of diseases. However, unfortunately, the diet has been always in the center of this discussion about Mediterranean and health. So Mediterranean region, healthy Mediterranean diet. And we came to feel or to understand that diet is in the center of all of this. It's like in the old days we thought that the earth is the center of the universe. That's what now scientists feel, and of course more the dietitians, that diet is the center of the universe. However, we know now that diet is not actually the center of the universe. Like like Earth is somewhere here. And there are other factors as well. This is also very important, but there are many, many other factors that they are important. So we know now from many, many studies that diet alone, for example, if you change, let's say, some dietary patterns, cannot explain the changes that you see over time, or by changing only your diet, this is not sustainable. So you change it for a month, for 2 months, 6 months, maybe your weight also changes, but then you're going back to that. So by doing this change, if you're successful in doing it, and it's very difficult, does not explain what is happening in terms of health. Or if you take it from the other way around, just the diet, the Mediterranean diet, does not explain why the Mediterranean people have been living so in the past long lives and healthy lives. So if not the diet, then what else is it that might affect this positive result, what's happening here in the Mediterranean region? Well, there are two ways to study the effect of factors on health. One is to do those studies. So you take two groups of people, and in one group you give them, let's say, to eat only meat. The other people eat only broccoli. And everything else is the same, and 6 months later you look at the effect, what happened to those people in terms of metabolic factors, etc., etc., etc. Or you are taking two groups of people. One group you allow them to sleep 9 hours a day, the other group you keep their sleeping time to 4 hours a day. And then 2 weeks later you're looking at their metabolic indices, etc. So that's a way to study individual factors. However, as I mentioned in the beginning, the person is not only what they eat or how they sleep or how they behave or how they drink or whatever. They are all of it. We are all of it at the same time. You cannot break down one thing because everything else is changing also at the same time. So in order to study something in real life, you have to study all of these factors together. So in other words, with meat, if you change the meat, what are you doing with the other things? How is your sleeping affected? How is your physical activity affected? How is your family life affected? How is your social life affected? If you eat broccoli all day long, your social life might be affected badly because of gas or something, So you need to study all of these things together. But this, as you probably know, it's impossible because there are too many variables and you cannot really do any meaningful statistics with these variables. So, is there no hope in studying all of these things together? There is actually, if you look at things from a different perspective. In other words, you are finding a population that they are successful in having healthy and long and healthy lives, and you go and see what these people are doing. Why do they have long and healthy lives? And that's what happened with the Mediterranean diet, where people came here, scientists, and they were looking, what are these people eating? Now we move this thing one step forward, because as I said before, diet alone cannot explain the effect, so let's see what else is there. So many studies have started in this area. One of the better ones is the Icaria study. It's a study where people went to the island of Icaria. The island of Icaria is in the middle of the Aegean Sea. it's an island where people has been shown to live long lives and being active up until the end of their lives, 100, 102, 104 years old. Not all of them, of course, but a much bigger number than in many other areas of Greece and in Europe. So the goal was to find the secrets. What is it that these people have been doing that might explain this pattern of living, of health, etc. And this is what they have found. One, and this is not in an order of importance, but the way they appear in the study. Having a purpose in life, it was a very, very important factor that was coming up again and again and again. What does purpose in life mean? What is your purpose in life? Nobody has any purpose in life? What is your purpose in life? You. Yeah.
I guess reach my goals and become a doctor.
Become a doctor, that's a good purpose. What else? What's your purpose in life?
Have a good family life and enjoy every day.
Good purpose. Did you know that before I asked you?
No, I just came up with it.
You see, I knew it. But it's important. From now on, your life will be much better. Because tomorrow morning you will wake up and say, oh, I have a purpose in life. If you don't have a purpose in life, it's a big problem. Not now. Now you're young. When you're older and your kids leave home and you finish your work and you go to retirement, many people at that age, they have no purpose in life. They woke up in the morning, they say, okay, now what am I doing? Should I go back to the club and play with other old, unhappy people there? These people, they say that they have a purpose in life. What is your purpose? Some of them to help their kids grow their grandchildren. Some of them to help them with good food, prepare good food, prepare. This Mr. Nicolakis, he was on the donkey. Why he was there? Because he was working every day. He said that, what are you doing? Why are you, we asked him, why are you working? He said, I'm cultivating vegetables so we have fresh vegetables for my grandchildren. This is a purpose in life, very, very important for this person. These ladies were nominated for the Nobel Prize because during this, there were a few years ago that we had many illegal Muslim refugees coming to Greece and coming to these islands, and they were, these people were helping them. So their purpose in life was to help these people that they were in need, because they knew that maybe one day they will be in need, other people should help them. But that was their purpose in life at that point, because they had finished already with the grandchildren, etc. And as you can see, they're helping those refugees. So purpose in life is important. How important is it? Well, now it's not what these ladies are saying, but now we know from big studies that having a purpose in life, your survival probability, if you have a purpose in life, is up here. If you don't, you're down here. So before you got the purpose in life, you were here. Now you're here. How different is this? This is 0.75. This is 0.9. You know what that means? I don't know either, because I'm not a statistician, but it looks big. It's a 15%, it's a huge difference in terms of survival probability. So why is it? Why having purpose in life is important? Because it gives you something to live for. There are studies showing that if a high power executive, someone that is working in a very stressed environment, suddenly for some reason they stop working and they have nothing to do. They die within 5 years. They're 65 years old, and by 70, 75 years old, they're dead. Why? Because you see them that they are like they're losing the life. You know, life is going away because they have nothing to do. Companionship and avoidance of isolation. That's another thing that was very, very important and very high up in those people. It was obvious that companionship and living with other people, socializing, was a big part of these people's life. Now, you can say, of course you're socializing. I mean, here we go every day to school, you know, we have friends, we have boyfriends, girlfriends, etc. Well, maybe you do now, or maybe you don't. Unfortunately, also with the pandemic, etc., people have moved apart. But when you're getting older, it's very, very easy for you to be alone, have no friends, either because your friends have died or because you don't like them anymore, because as you grow older, you tend to not like too much bullshit, you know, you don't accept people, you know, strange people, etc. And it's possible that you grow up to be alone. But that was a very important thing that was happening in their lives. Maintaining strong family ties, a very important part of this lifestyle. Now you'll tell me, of course, you know, family ties, of course, with your mother, with your father. Well, that's not apparently the norm in many, many countries, in many societies. People do not have good family ties. People do not have a strong family presence in their lives. People don't feel like if something happens to their lives, they can go back and crash in their old bedroom and they will be very welcomed. In Greece, that's happening maybe too much because mothers are very happy if their sons, you know, get divorced or they lose their jobs because they will move back with them. That's not also good as the other way, you know, the other extreme. But it's a better extreme than to ask your kid when he's 17 years old to start paying rent, and then if they fail at 22, they don't find a job, they end up homeless instead of, you know, coming back because you're not supposed to come back, you're not supposed to be, you know, you're supposed to be on your own, etc., etc. So maintaining strong family ties is a very important thing. Participation in social groups with common interest. Another very common factor over there. All of the islands in Greece, but especially this one, Nicocia, they dance all day long. I mean, every time something happens, oh, let's dance. Why are you dancing now? I don't know, let's dance. You know, they dance 2-3 times a week. They find always excuses, you know. They close the stores. You know, stores in Nicocia, they don't have time. They don't open at 8 and close at 3. They open whenever they come back. You know, they say, oh, when is he coming back? I don't know. When is it going to open? Maybe, usually around 10. 10 what, in the morning? No, at night. There are stores that they open at 10 at night, at 9, at night. So anyway, but the point is that lots of common interests and how is this important in terms of lifestyle? Why do you say, you're asking me, that this is important in terms of health? Well, our studies, because we are, you know, the scientists, we're going later and trying to explain what's happening in nature. You know, when I went to the US many, many years ago, at some point I came back and I visited my grandmother and I said, you know, grandmother, scientists found what is it in the chicken soup that actually helps prevent colds. So she looked at me and said, what the hell, did you have to go to the US to find that out? I've been telling that to you for all these years, you know, eat your soup. But now I had the explanation. Now I said, I'm going to start eating soup. She said, there's no hope for you. So anyway, the point is that we have proven, scientists have proven, that this is important. So, social relationships. The importance in terms of mortality risk, the higher this is, the lower the risk is up here. Look at other factors and how important they are in terms of risk. Look at smoking, drinking, look at physical activity, look at BMI. BMI is obesity. Obesity is the #1 factor right now that we are all trying to fight in order to keep people healthy. BS, obesity is down here. This is what we should be looking if you want to be more effective in helping people living long and healthy lives. But this is very difficult. This is easy because this you can measure it with a scale. You say, oh, let's see how 80 kilos, 165. No. For 165, you should be 65 kilos. Up here, what do you say? You haven't been to a panigiri this year. You need to go 3 times a week to a panigiri. Panigiri means festivities, festival, to dance. You haven't been out with your friends. You need to be going out 3 times a week for 3 hours. But instead, what do we tell people? You need to go to the gym and run on a treadmill for 1 hour, being in the same place, not meeting any girls. What the hell are you doing there? What are you doing? Why are you doing this? This is where exercise is, the treadmill. But they should be out. You should tell them, go out with your friends and drink. No, not too much, less than 6 drinks. And maybe smoke, but I didn't say about smoking. But so we need to make sure that we focus on the things that they are important. Difficult to do maybe you don't make money out of it because this is where the money is. Okay, nutrition, obesity, etc. But if you care about your patient, you have to focus on what's important. What else did they find there? That these people are living a simple life. Okay, look at this fellow there. Huh? Isn't he relaxed? That reminds me of there is an anecdote, maybe it's true also, a US high executive, he was in a Greek island, he was vacationing. And he was sitting outside, in his hotel there for days, and he was looking at the guy that he was fishing there with a pole. He was looking at him, he was fishing, he was catching a few fish every day, he would go back, then next day he would come there. One day he couldn't help himself, he went there and he said, hi, my friend, what are you doing here? He said, I'm fishing. Oh, you're fishing? Why are you fishing? He said, I'm fishing for my, food. He said, why don't you use 2 poles? He said, why would I use 2 poles? I mean, the fish that I catch with 1 pole is enough for my... Well, he said, with 2 poles you can get twice the fish. Why would I do with twice the fish? Well, you can sell them and then make money. Why would I do with the money? Well, you can buy a boat and then you can go out and have more fish. What I was going to do with all this fish? So you can sell them and buy more boats. What am I going to do with all these boats? So then you will have lots of money and you don't need to work. You can just, sit here and just fish. So that's what I'm doing. So why would he do all of this thing? And of course, because then when he will be there fishing, he will be thinking about managing the boats. And he would be stressed and he would die. That's why he's not here. It was the other guy here that he went. This guy never got a second pole and he's happy and healthy and poor. You might say, yeah, but he's poor. Well, but let's think about it when Mr. Nicocia will come back again later. He is poor, but the other guy is rich. Yeah, but the other guy is not here. Huh? So let's talk about it later. Diet. Okay, is diet important? Of course it's important. I don't want you to leave this room and say Mediterranean diet is not important. It's important, but it's not the only one and it's not the most important. Okay, but it's important. Why? Because we're doing it at least 3 times a day. So we need to do something that, but what should we be doing with our diet? And more importantly, what should we be saying our patients about their diet? Our patients are coming in, they're not thinking about diet all day long as we are thinking as dietitians or physicians or whatever. They have other things in their mind. They're coming in, they're full of problems. And they're coming to you because they have a problem. The physician told them, go and lose some weight. That's why they came to you. Or they came to the physician because they found in their checkup that their metabolic indices are bad. But they're coming there to find something easy. They're not there to learn how many grams are in this food, what's the glycemic index of the other food, what is the diet quality of this food, and this and that. They want help. How are you going to help them? Well, depends on what the problem is. If their problem is not diet, you should not be helping with the diet. You should be focusing on what the problem is. But let's say that their problem is the diet. How much time do they have to work on their diet? And what is it important with diet? Right now, the diet industry, the nutrition industry, is one of the most complicated and confusing area in the world. Things are changing. They're changing on what is healthy, what is not healthy, etc. every other year, if not month. Okay. Right now, everything that we knew 30 years ago, almost everything, it doesn't apply anymore. We knew that red meat is bad for you. There's no data whatsoever to show that if you eat red meat in moderation as part of a regular diet, there's anything wrong about it. Fat, saturated fat, terrible. No. Monosaturated fat, the best of all, no. Etc., etc., etc. So what do you say to your patient if you don't have too much time to spend on it because you need to take care of the other things? Eat in moderation. Eat everything. Don't worry too much about it. If you stress too much about something, then you're having a problem with this, stress management. So you stress about your diet, or you stress about your physical activity, you stress, you're doing something wrong. You're trying to do something correctly, but you are doing something wrong on another area. Conviviality is, what am I showing here? Oh yeah, so conviviality, you know what this term means? Conviviality means eat with other people, like be together with other people. Conviviality here is more important than the type of food that you eat. Imagine a super healthy food, eating it alone in front of your TV at night. And think of a less healthy food, but eating it with friends and laughing and having fun. Which one is healthier, you think? I don't know, but I think that it's probably the second one. At least for me, I'm much happier at the end of the second day, at the end of the second thing. So conviviality is very important. But that, of course, goes back to socialization, etc. Of course, it's better to do it the second way. Daily physical activity. Another source of huge stress for today's people. When you are in a very stressed environment where you have to wake up in the morning, take care of the kids, then run to work, then go back from work, go to the gym, exercise in the gym, take a shower, go back then to take the kids from the ballet school, and go back and cook for next morning. What do you think, what is good, what is problem with this picture? The picture is that the exercise that you will put in there because you have to, it's not going to offer you any benefit. In fact, it will make you sick. Why? Because you're going there and you're walking on the treadmill doing nothing. However, if you found some time during the weekend to go and play tennis with your friends that you love tennis, or to go and walk because you love walking, or you start taking the stairs at work, you know, people go to the gym to do Stairmaster, and they take the elevator to go to the gym to do Stairmaster. They don't use the stairs. Why? Because it's ingrained in there that exercise is only in the gym. Never go to the gym. Never, unless you love it. For some reason, I don't know why would you like to be in the gym, but if you don't, then just try to incorporate as much physical activity as you can in your daily life. Try to avoid psychological stress, but go for the physical stress. So if there are stairs in front of you, take always the stairs. If someone has to go and pick up something, you go, not the other person. Why would you do that? We take people to take care of our yard. So a person came to me a few years ago, and he thought I was crazy because I said he was coming there because he was paid anyway for many months. So I said, don't do it, just sit down and relax. I said, why would I do that? So I'm going to do it. I'm going to, rack the leaves, etc. He said, but you're paying me. I said, yeah, I'm paying you. That's a stupid thing. I'm paying you to do physical activity, and then I will pay again the gym to do physical activity myself. So why would I pay you and the gym? And why don't I do it myself? You see the problem here? You're paying someone to take the grocery up the stairs for you, and then you go to the gym and you lift weights. There's a problem here. And the problem is because we think that exercise is only what we do in an organized fashion where an expert is coming and telling you what to do, etc. Physical activity, though, is the goal. Physical activity is everything that we do. Now, you can do physical activity as you're sitting there. If you raise your knees a little bit, this is physical activity for this part of your body. So try to incorporate physical activity anywhere you are. And this is what these people have been doing. They're not going to the gym, of course. There are no gyms in Nicocia, but they are walking all the time. They are working, of course, because they have to work. But even this guy, Mr. Nicocia, they didn't have to work. He was working all day long, and this is what he was doing in physical activity. And of course, they are dancing and they're doing. So naps in the middle of the day, moderate alcohol consumption, that's a very important thing here, always with friends, always with a meal, and in moderation. Okay, drinking alone at night is not healthy and is not going to give you any positive outcomes. Maintaining an optimistic attitude towards life, another very important thing. Of course, that is not something that you can learn, but if life is not stressful, if you are happy with your social life, if you're happy with everybody else, then your attitude towards life is very optimistic. So, let's go back to this diet pyramid then. This is not the whole picture of the diet pyramid. The diet pyramid is not this. The diet pyramid, the way it is right now, it has water, it has wine in moderation, and it has all of this down here. So why are we calling this diet pyramid? This is not the Mediterranean diet pyramid. This is the Mediterranean lifestyle pyramid, which of course needs to be changed because here there's lots of, but all of these factors, and why are they here? Because now we know with all these studies that I mentioned before, that these factors are extremely important if you're talking about health, because this is for health. We're not doing that just to have a good mark, oh, your diet is good, okay, 100, you can go. This is to improve health, but we know that only this doesn't do it. You need this, you need this, you need the other things, etc. So let's listen to Mr. Nicolakis again. Let's see, what did he say? He's 90 years old. And he was on the donkey. Try to go on a donkey now. What does that mean? Do you know? whatever you do, there's only one outcome. He knows that you live and then you die. He is not trying to die to live forever. Okay, and what else did he say later? He said, I'm working. He's 92 years old. Why is he working? Do you think that he's so poor that he needs to work? No, he has kids and grandkids. I'm sure that they can give him a little bit of cheese, a little bit of, to survive. But he likes working. And what does he like about work? That he has no one to tell him when to go, how, so he enjoys the work that he's doing. If he was doing stressful work, then that would have killed him already. But he's doing something that, he has a purpose in life. He goes every day because he wants to have fresh fruits, vegetables, etc. for his kids, etc. And then at the end, what did he say? He said, I'm happy. I have kids. Nothing, I'm missing nothing, he said. But as you can see, he has a donkey, he's not a rich person, but he says, nothing is missing. I have kids, I have grandkids, I'm happy, he said. And then he said, thank God, let's go now. And at the end, we will die. Okay, that's good. So, the goal is not only to live well, though. And that's where I want to stop. The goal is also to die well. And how do you die well? The usual trajectory of nowadays people's life is like this. So quality of life is very good at these early years where you are. But then as life goes on, quality of life goes down gradually. And from that point on, from that point down, the quality of life here is not good. And then at the end, ta-da, you die. So what should we try to do in terms of, and of course that's the problem now, that modern medicine prolongs suffering actually, doesn't prolong life, unfortunately. They keep you alive, they don't allow you to die. I want to die, no, you're going to stay alive. Why? Because that's what ethics say or whatever. So, is this person alive? No, he's dead a long time ago. They don't allow him to go. So the goal should be find a way to be up there for as long as you can. Maybe not up to this point as before, but maybe here. And then one night, after you have come back with your donkey from working all day long, and you play with your grandkids, and you eat a nice meal, and you drink a little wine, and you have fun with your kids, and you have sex with your wife, then at 92 years old, you die. Isn't that a good death? Instead of staying, not 92, 82, instead of staying until 90 on a respirator? No, that's not a good deal. So, some take-home messages. Our goal for ourselves and of course for our patients is eudaimonia. Eudaimonia means, eudaimonia is not happiness, evdaimonia in Greek. It's not happiness because we cannot be happy all day long. Eudaimonia is at the end of the day or at the end of your life, the whole feeling to be positive. So you will have your bad moments, you will have your unhappy moments, you have everything. But at the end, everything will be a positive feeling. So, in terms of everything, health and the way you feel, you can achieve that by living a full life. You should not be living. We should not tell our patients, don't do that, don't do this, don't do the other thing, etc. Everything in moderation. That's the easiest thing to say. But everything. So you eat meat, but you eat broccoli also. So you go to the gym and you play outside if you want to go to the gym. So you drink, but drink a little bit, etc., etc. Better be okay on all rather than be perfect in one or two. So I'm taking care of my physical activity. I'm perfect. I'm doing exactly what I have to do, 150 minutes per day and per week, and then I'm also eating perfectly. But I don't sleep well. I'm full of stress. I smoke all day long. What good is there? No. Be okay in most of them, or all of them, it's much better than being perfect in one and and don't do anything about the others. So the traditional Mediterranean lifestyle, we feel that you may not live, of course, 1,000 years, but you will enjoy your years. So this is why we have created this Lifestyle Institute, Mediterranean Lifestyle Institute, in the city of Leros, the island of Leros. And next year we will have our first conference defining the Mediterranean lifestyle, because all of these things that I told you, they are just by observation, but we need to find out exactly what do we mean by lifestyle medicine, the Mediterranean style, and how we can make that easy for our patients to follow, not only in Cyprus, but also in Greece, in Italy, in Germany, in Japan, in Norway, because we're talking about lifestyle medicine, and we want to promote this lifestyle as a paradigm for worldwide lifestyle medicine interventions. So to prepare for this, we have created a few task groups, and if any of you, not the students unfortunately, but faculty, etc., they would like to participate in any of these, please contact me, and you can, the meeting is by invitation only, but you will be able to participate one way or another. So, thank you for your attention. Sorry it took so long, but I'm open for questions if there are any.